I think we're green. Yes, we are. We're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Moisky Life political recap stream. Oh, we have a few topics. This week has been cancer. As many of you would have undoubtedly seen on this channel, courtesy of the regular content of the Supreme Court ruling stuff. Oh, jeez. Tomorrow I've got to do day 3, and day 3 was the worst one. Oh, no. Joining me for this, before he goes away for an extended leave, to do stuff, I think go to Never Neverland, I assume, is Trups LP. Say hello, Trups LP.
Hello, Trups LP. And yes, it is Never Neverland. I shall be in tights and I shall look fabulous.
Giggity.
Indeed.
Hello, Lulubelle, Serene, Spoonie, and Carlos. Hope you're all having a fantastic Thursday. I know this isn't our usual stream day for this, but earlier mentioned he's going away to reenact The Princess Bride before it's remade.
I'm so mad.
I had to throw that in there. I saw people on Twitter get triggered. It was so funny. Do you want to air your grievances on that now?
I mean, it's just, it's good on its own. Don't remake it. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
You almost had a chance to meet is it
Carrie
Elwes? I never know how to pronounce his last name. I'm so glad you said it. I knew it was Carrie. I was going to say Elwes. I'm very glad you said that.
I just guessed, honestly.
Let's hope it is that. Hello, Ethalian Renovatio. Hope you're both well. Okay, so how's Trups been this week?
Trups has been, again, working overtime, and
Fun times.
I'm actually going to be returning to work after the stream's over, so...
Hey! Well
committed
done.
to that stream life, though.
Well done to extra work and no extra pay. Whereas I feel sorry in that regard. I envy you for having a salary. Hello, Davey. Hope you're well. I don't envy you because you're on a salary. In the sense that when I get asked to overtime, I get paid for it. You know?
Oh yeah, I do. And like if I hadn't been promoted at like one of the earlier parts of this project, I wouldn't I probably would complain about the money, but because I was promoted, I don't, you know.
Fair enough. Can't complain there. As long as this, as long as, we're able to do this.
I feel like I'm getting compensated.
Oh, I'm glad that you feel that way, because then obviously you're not being used by your employer. That's important.
Indeed.
Yes. So
yeah.
Okay.
Kavanaugh.
Right. Okay. I should warn everyone. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got about 6 topics. The thumbnail. Oh, geez. I only saw this. Someone mentioned it during my truck stream. We will get to it last. It's too funny to not poke fun at. So, Kavanaugh. Let's just dive into him.
Yeah. So we'll do this a little quickly. So Kavanaugh had another accusation levied at him. I know, shocker. A conservative in the mainstream having an accusation. Weird. But he had an accusation about, God, it had to be like either earlier this week or last week or something. Because it wasn't so recent, but it was close enough that I remember. And so, okay, the sexual assault that he is accused of.
Which one?
Now I have phrased. I'm sorry.
Which one? Because there's the Christina Blasey Ford one? Is that still ongoing? Or is that over now?
Yeah. Christina Blasey Ford's father doesn't believe Christina Ford.
Oh no!
That came out recently.
Isn't that a cliche that daughters and fathers don't get on that well?
I don't know. There's always daddy's little girl, which is like a common thing. When they're like really small, it's like all they want to do is be around their dad. So I don't know. I would feel like there's something there.
That would explain why my dad likes my sisters more than me, I guess.
Oh.
Carry on.
That sound, whatever that was.
That was me doing a tear thing with the hand gesture under my eye and failing miserably.
I could not. I thought you were having a stroke.
I wish I was.
Me too. Anyway, so no. This accusation is a new one from when he was in college.
Wait,
and
hang on, stop. The first one was from college as well, though.
High school.
Oh, my mistake. I keep forgetting you. I forgot the Blasey thing wasn't at college. Okay, that's the prom thing, wasn't it?
25 years. We're at like 23.
Sorry, I didn't realise this guy was such a serial offender.
Apparently.
Carry on. My apologies.
That's all right. So what he is guilty of is at a frat party, as you'd imagine. Uh, Mr. Kavanaugh exposed himself when another individual at said party shoved his exposed genitals into the face of another woman. Yes, I can tell you're very. I believe the Me Too movement is strong here, and I believe everyone on the
Okay.
stream fully understands that
he
technically Brett Kavanaugh was assaulted.
forcibly teabagging. So the accusations made by Deborah Ramirez, I believe.
Well, those are old, aren't they?
They are old. The thing is, this is, I don't know how it's taken. Why is this one taking so long? Okay, so other accusations from, I guess I have to pull up like 3 different articles, and all of them are biased beyond belief. But I get the gist that many are accusing him of having lied under oath before the Senate Judiciary Committee. I remember that. We went through that.
Everyone's complaining.
We went through that. Where did he lie?
When he was talking about the fact that Deborah Ramirez was if it had happened, it would probably be talked about all over campus, but hardly anybody talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently some people talked about it, so that apparently makes him a liar.
Right. That doesn't make
some
him
other things.
That doesn't make him a liar.
Yeah, no, I know.
So this apparently.
This is the best one.
Oh well, yeah. The Ramirez accusation. Okay, so this one does seem moderately accurate. Says that this was actually made initially before Kavanaugh's confirmation. So, was this one of the ones that just vanished, or are they just holding on to this one?
Yes, this was one of the ones that had just vanished. The one that happened, the one I just described, was actually accused by a gentleman by the name of Max Stier.
Wrong one. Sorry.
That's all right.
I've got that as well. Yeah, okay. Carry on. Because the Ramirez one is indicating that he shoved it in her face anyway.
Yeah, weird that they follow such similar MO.
Yeah, he must just love teabagging. Before we continue, hello Semperbear, Shiverbear, Vent, hello Stargazer, Skeptok, Cyrus Storm and Gary. Hope you're all well. Carry
on. But so Max Stier was the one who accused Brett Kavanaugh of doing something to another person. That other person having no recollection of the event. Other people at the party have no recollection of the event.
Okay, so I readily say I take all accusations of sexual assault very seriously. I stand by that. Obviously, you should take this all seriously. I think
Super serial.
But please take that stance, because I have to say the more serious one, because until this goes through the right system, this is all just accusation and nothing more, done simply to, and I'm looking at several articles now that all say impeach, impeach, impeach. So
even when there's evidence to the contrary, they'll still say impeach.
Yeah, they will. So it's very hard to find any. It's very tricky in this particular field to get a very neutral stance, because they're all just so desperate to get rid cause reasons. It's not the right person. And with Kavanaugh, the Blasey Ford one was a shining example of how outrage was legitimized, and what happened? Nothing, because there was no legitimacy to any of it. It's just,
it would have been worse if something had happened, knowing what we know now.
Obviously. And with these new accusations, having remembered now that these ones disappeared, well, one of them had. I don't know about the Max one. Was that announced before his
No, that one was new.
That's the new one, right? So yeah, it's, when people struggle to believe something because they've heard a lie so many times from someone, This is how it...
Boy Who Cried Wolf?
Yeah, that's how it feels more like to me now, and it's starting to bug me. It's very hard.
I had that problem because I didn't want to be that guy.
I don't want
the traditional, skeptic.
Yeah.
Where like, oh, everything I hear just sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's been brought up so many times where it turns out to be bullshit.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, all right, well, statistics show that I'm gonna see bullshit.
Do you feel like you're becoming, because of that, a bit more jaded towards those who do make the accusations in this context?
Sometimes.
Because that's how I start to feel, and I have to worry. I have to take a step back and be like, okay, so we should insert a disclaimer, although I will admit this just reeks of lol. And when he said super serial earlier, I edge in his direction because this... I'm sorry, but come on.
Well, if you want to be fair, then technically Kavanaugh, having not been in control of his own genitals at the time, was actually sexually assaulted.
Did he pull his trousers down?
He did, but he did not consent of another person taking hold of his member and shoving it into the face of somebody else.
Okay, so that isn't sexual assault. That is not in the direction of the guy who had been teabagged or sorry, my mistake. Teabagged or pistol whipped. I don't know the full context of whether it was a dick slap or whether it was a dunk. But it's really tricky. Skepticism donated $5. I don't believe it to you, by the way.
Oh, that's nice. It's to me. Oh,
yeah, to you.
Thank you, skepticism.
Yeah, you left the trademark out.
Yes, I'm skepticism.
Trademark.
Good.
Oh, what was I talking about? I can't remember now. I can't be bothered.
Jaded. You feel jaded.
I feel a bit jaded. Yeah. It's just when newer subjects come up, yes, take them seriously. But with this one, it doesn't. It's regurgitated. It feels recycled. I'm not convinced anymore that he did anything. And in this case, the person who grabbed his member, they should be in trouble. And of course, the person who was slapped in the face because of the other person should seek compensation from that person. I don't know. Smack them in the face with your penis, might I recommend.
It's a very strange cuck behavior in college. College is weird.
I know.
Apparently it was still weird.
It was when I was in, so I've got a little, right. Outside where I lived in on campus my first year, Constable Terrace, room H, house 9. If anyone goes to Norwich Uni and there's a brown stain on your carpet still, I threw up a purple drink and it went brown over time, no matter how hard I cleaned it. If it's still there after 13 years, amazing. But opposite, there is the Sainsbury's Art Centre, sponsored by a supermarket. Next to it is a giant horse statue. 3 of my male housemates decided...
Horse, right?
It's a horse with some guy on it.
Okay, I thought you said whore at first, and I'm like, what? Where is this statue?
Based on the nightlife, I think that would have been more apt. Anyway, 3 of my housemates decided, when very drunk, to all get up behind the statue, take their clothes off, and find places to discreetly reveal their member, while incredibly paralytic, with the assistance of not their girlfriends, but just other girls that were nearby, who were tugging their cocks into positions. Do they get compensation? No, because you do this stupid that stupid shit you do at college, and these guys just laughed it off. I've still got the photo on my. I've still got the photo is on my external somewhere with all my other uni photos. I'll have to find it. It's really bad.
That will not be shared with the server. I'm sorry.
I'd have to. No, I'm not sharing that on the server. That's not even. No amount of donation gets that kind of picture. It's very funny. Hello, new people. Keith. I'm 05 Anti and Funky Animal. And 45 Lies. Hope you're well. But yeah, I'm not. It feels. I'm not saying boys will be boys because that's also the argument someone then says. In that,
I hate that argument because
so do I.
I've never heard anyone say it.
So do I, because people will say that's the counter. It's not a counter at all. No one says it. but it does, with what I remember from my time at college, the term part and parcel seems accurate, as opposed to boys will be boys, because it's not a boys will be boys thing. It's just really stupid drunk university shit. Oh, and I've got something on Nadler in a bit, I promise you. I saw the video.
But I do want to rehash what Lulu has said in the chat.
Go for it.
The victim, or alleged victim, does not remember this ever happening. So it is only this individual, Max Stier, former Bill Clinton attorney, complaining about Kavanaugh. Okay.
How far does this go? How can it?
So Max Stier actually used to be a opposing counsel.
Okay.
So there's a bit of, I guess, professional ethics issues. Because so here's the exact quote from Breitbart. In 1994, Kavanaugh joined the legal team led by Kenneth Starr that was looking into President Bill Clinton's real estate dealings as part of the Whitewater investigation.
Yeah.
Later that decade, Kavanaugh co-wrote the Starr Report, which established broad grounds for Clinton's impeachment. Those proceedings pitted Kavanaugh against a former Yale classmate, Max Stier, a fellow member of Stiles College, who was one of several attorneys representing Clinton during the investigation.
Right.
So this actually goes into the point of professional ethics and showing that, once again, Democrats don't have any.
Imagine my shock.
Yeah, I hate having to say that over and over again.
Don't worry. I gotcha. I don't say it often, so it's okay. I know that others on my server, Skog, notably, will try and rephrase it, try and envision my... and then insert adjective or whatever there.
25 lies. You're a special kind of stupid, aren't you? Sorry. Carry on.
I'm not even engaging. I will, however, address the comment earlier about, so you have a picture. Yes, I do. I'm sure they got pictures of me doing something similar, to be fair. Because it's... I know, right? It was university. It's what you do. If you see... Traps is probably the only person that might have access to my to my Facebook account. He could see some of the photos of me at university. Oh dear! I think
I haven't gone stalking your Facebook, but now I might have to.
It's to be fair, some of the pictures of me in my first year, my 21st birthday especially, the pictures there of that. Oh no!
And 45 lies. It's pronounced Trups. Thank you.
I was about to insert something very cringy, but I'm not going to... I refuse to allow you to go back to that.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so...
Continuing.
Yeah, carry on.
That's it with Kavanaugh. You want to do the next topic?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Jeremy Corbyn, and for this I'm going to put this meme on the screen. It seems appropriate, for the topic at hand anyway, because while Jeremy Corbyn is, and he's quoted as saying, daunted at the prospect of becoming Prime Minister, because he says he knows he's going to become the next Prime Minister, and he's ready to take on this role if he wins an election, which seems like a contradiction. Hello, we are here. Hope you're well. He believes that he can carry Labour's programme into government. He did raise something about David Cameron I want to talk about briefly soon, but for now we'll skip ahead. He wrote an article for The Guardian on the 17th that said that only Labour will give people a final say on Brexit. Now, the majority of this argument centres around the no-deal prospects in 6 weeks' time. The problem with this argument, and the real annoying problem with this argument, is that he's painting the picture that no deal is all bad. There is no good to be had from trying and not succeeding, as opposed to simply staying comfortable in something that has already got economists worried because it's starting to fall apart. It's like trying to continually use gaffer tape to hold scaffolding together. it's not going to work, and eventually it's going to tear. It's going to break, it's going to crash. A better one would be building a house on the side of a chalk cliff. It's going to erode very quickly, okay? Just stop it. And I know I made this point recently in a video where apparently you can't make any it was actually a politics video on this channel with, actually, you know what, I'll pull the meme up, it's better. This picture, basically the comparison was that Boris Johnson had made with the Incredible Hulk and Brexit. Now I thought it was clever because to me it brought down politics to something a lot of people could understand without poking too many holes at it. But as with any metaphor, if it's not exactly the same, you're not allowed to do it. So, in Corbyn's article, he talks about humiliation for the Prime Minister and tries to break the Prime Minister down. Continuing on from points by attacking the current Prime Minister, but not providing any substance. The article is a absolute middle-of-the-road article. He takes his position and he doesn't commit to it. In the sense that he would back things, but if they ever happened, he would never back it. In the sense of a second referendum, a people's vote, revoking Article 50. He won't take a position on it. He said as much in the article himself, and this is absolutely damning for what's going on here. By the way, I love that you've got trolls in my chat. I'm just saying, you bring out the best in this chat. I love it.
You're welcome.
It's amazing. But yes, Jeremy Corbyn is continuing his rhetoric, but providing zero substance while claiming he has a program he will introduce the moment he is elected into office. And Duck Dog's right, by the way, Mr. 45 Lies. Just calm down, it's all good. We're just talking, okay? It's all good. Yes. He said he's also, during this article, there are other issues. I was going to make a video on this, but the Supreme Court stuff is just too good for me. That a number of the quotes he makes in this are all, again, dishonest, because, again, they are taken out of context to suit the argument he's trying to make, as opposed to using quotes from people who have actually said that and nothing else. Hello, Becca Ferry, hope you're well. And James. All in all, Jeremy Corbyn, while claiming to be the leader and the leader in waiting and all this nonsense, is further confirming the many held belief that he is a champagne socialist, his net worth certainly confirms it, that doesn't have the interest of people at heart and is only interested in just getting into office for the sake of getting into office. He has a number of arguments that he has legitimate concerns to raise when it comes to human rights. I've always said he's good at that. But when it comes to running something, he has no idea how to do it. He's 70 years old and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know how to tie his own shoelaces. Let alone do a tie or make a good jam. It's not difficult, by the way. Seriously.
Jam is fucking great.
Right. Raspberry's the best. I'm just going to link, for those who are interested, the Guardian article he wrote in the chat for you, because it is interesting. You will notice he really doesn't actually have a position of note. He just drives into the middle of the road, and it's really irritating. You cannot claim to stand for all these things, including a people's vote, but not back anything. That's just tragic and embarrassing. And to continue on something about him, there's something else. He's also a bit of a... hang on, where is it? Where is it? Leader opposed to change in 95 for Clause 4. What was it again? Media handle operation. Where was it? Discuss response. Local parties. Oh, idiot. NEC told not interfering in Clause 4. I've forgotten what it is. Month-long campaign blaze. Message to electorate that changed. Oh, it was a change to constitution. That we say what we mean and mean what we say. Kind of. Say what we mean and mean what we say. Yeah. Corbyn is not committed to commitment. Let's just go with that. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go straight to the Cameron stuff. So, Corbyn, many MPs, in fact, and politicians have been chastising David Cameron because he made a comment. David Cameron, I'll put a picture of Cameron on the screen because it's only right. A good picture of David Cameron in his best. Yes, he is chasing Peppa Pig. If you get the joke, I'm happy for you. He made a comment that during the 2014 referendum in Scotland, independence, that he leaned on the Queen to get her to say something to encourage the Scottish people to vote to remain in the United Kingdom. Now, he's been called out by Corbyn, he's been called out by Alex Salmond, and he's also kind of been called out by the Queen. Buckingham Palace are not too impressed because what happened was he had basically suggested that she raise an eyebrow, and she had said in a speech that Scotland should think carefully about the future. That's all she said. But this is him leaning on the royal family, which is absolutely pathetic. It's not even a subtle message. It doesn't really say much. Queen's officials have said that it was improper to raise the issue, but it was also anything. Oh, I'll read the quote. The discussion with the Queen's officials was not anything that would be in any way improper, but just raising of an eyebrow, even a quarter of an inch. That's it. It's nothing. But this has caused a bit of a barnstorm in the UK, with people calling this royal interference, because the Queen, in many issues, as we know, remains neutral. Now, I think most people accept. I don't think she'd want Scotland to lead the UK because she likes to go up to Balmoral a lot. But also, the Queen doesn't. Many people know the Queen's kind of got a position on Brexit. She's not too fond of the what's been happening. Many know this because there have been leaks. Okay. And yes, David Cameron does look like Iggle Piggle, but just imagine how good he'll look several inches inside Peppa Pig.
Actually, though I am trolling with 45 lies here. He does ask a good question. Did Trump impress the Queen? I feel like we talked about this once, but I forget. Was that a yes?
The Queen was impressed, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. I believe they got that was not just that was according to Trump, but as far as I was aware, royal officials didn't comment much on it. Usually, if they have something to say against somebody's behaviour, there'll be a leak of some kind. So
yeah, I wouldn't necessarily imagine that they would keep quiet if they had something to say.
He breached royal protocol a couple times, but that was in the first visit, and that was fine. He made up for it in the second one. He was very well behaved. During the speeches at the banquet, the Queen clearly indicated she was all right with him. I think she.
Thanks. All right. Segue. Sorry about that. I wanted that.
I'm pretty sure she stopped and said, "Yo, in it, he's my wigger." In it. Moving on. But yes, basically where this really came from was when in Nicola Sturgeon's First Minister's Questions in Holyrood, she was asked whether she was concerned about the Queen being asked to interfere in a potential second independence referendum. With her saying that, I think the revelations, if I can call them that, from David Cameron say more about him than they do about anybody else, and really demonstrate the panic that was in the heart of the UK government in the run-up to the independence referendum 5 years ago. If I remember correctly, one of the reasons they agreed to stay was if the UK agreed to remain a part of the EU. Well, we had that vote as well. You didn't get what you want then either. Sorry, Scotland. Your voices aren't being stifled, by the way. We just keep beating you down. Hello, Hath. Hope you're well. And Magpie Everspirit. Trump doesn't respect the Queen or Britain. I don't care. I really.
Oh no, ignore. I'm dealing.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yes. So Cameron, since Cameron's over the last month or two, he's become more vocal. He's become more vocal because of a number of issues that have arisen. Issues like, well, Brexit. Many blame him anyway, and he's apologised for it because he got scared of 4 million voters rightly so. That's a huge number of people, especially with those who are eligible to vote. He was worried about what it would do to his party if he did not acquiesce to a referendum, and he called for it and lost because he fought a campaign of fear. Many have said that the Leave campaign were the liars. Well, recently, the standards committees and review boards have actually found that there were some campaigns within the Remain camp that committed campaign fraud of some kind through lies. Yes. No one's reporting on that. I wonder why. But
Well, that would disrupt the narrative.
Right, indeed. I think they're loyal, upstanding, and honest members of the United Kingdom. Press X to doubt everyone but 45 lies. So Cameron's also been vocal on Boris because he doesn't agree with his attack of be optimistic and try and negotiate, but be prepared to be rejected. He attacked Gove, but that's fine because Gove's a sneck. In fact, he's attacked everyone except for, I think, maybe Corbyn. I don't think he's gone in on him yet. I still believe if Cameron was in office now, he'd probably still beat Corbyn. We'd also not have to worry about a general election until 2020. And I think Cameron would still beat him then anyway. That's how... And to be honest, if you put Cameron, May, and Boris at the dispatch box, people will turn up to watch Boris because Boris is funny, but people will get more information from Cameron because Cameron is far more concise. While Boris is wittier, Boris is a bit less parliamentarian. Cameron is very parliamentarian. And then at the bottom you have Theresa May, who couldn't control a room of dead cats. Yeah. So, Cameron's stirring the pot, and he's doing it for a reason. The reason is simple. He has a book coming out soon. His memoirs or something. I'm sure it's going to be an Amazon bestseller, everyone. I may even do readings of it on this channel if it's that bad. Who knows?
Can I come and read some too?
Sure. We'll make an evening of it. Oh, that'll be so bad. People then hear me do my... Because I obviously do the readings on the Read channel. They're going to hear me do this, and they're going to hear me fumble and get frustrated and redo it over and over again. You wait until they hear the Dunwich horror. That thing has taken me forever. Oh dear. The mistakes. The horror. Yeah. So, Jeremy Corbyn is an idiot. Middle-of-the-road idiot. And Cameron is a pig fucker.
Could be worse. He could have a fancy for goats.
Could do. He could do.
He could.
So, I want to move on to another subject of interest. I want to talk about vaping.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard more about that this week. So how's that going for you?
Well, so certain very liberal cities have apparently already passed bills banning it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like New York, for instance, that was weird.
What happened in New York?
That being said, almost all the ones that are even entertaining it are the ones that have very large interests in the tobacco industry, which comes as nobody's surprise.
Yeah, I mentioned this last week. I thought that was the first thing I thought, and I thought of it as somebody who didn't know what was going on. I also find it fascinating that there are now a mountain of articles based on the fact that one other person has died from a vaping-related cause, but the cause is undisclosed. It's like, you just said vaping. You've just inserted it, but not actually said what the cause was.
Right. It's kind of like adding like Fortnite to your tags.
Yeah, or verified.
Guns shoot Americans every day. Yep, those damn guns lock them up.
Hey, Squizzy, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while.
No, tobacco companies are more than happy about
Tommy.
this because the biggest thing that vaping was supposed to do was, reduce the amount of tobacco intake, and we had discussed this last week.
Yeah.
They had, I think, lost since vaping became popular $93 billion.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot. So, I believe I am right then, that there is definitely a correlation here. Are you here?
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Fuck, you were quiet for a second. I was like, oh shit, have we lost everything?
Yes. No, I've disappeared into the night. Never to be seen again.
So, I noticed that in the focus of dealing with vaping risks, there was a note, I saw it on Twitter, there was California wanted to introduce a higher vaping pod tax. I don't get how taxing...
Yeah, they wanted to tax this shit like a lot. And I was like, we already have to do the taxes because it's a nicotine product.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea of people paying taxes on things. I get it. But if you're just going to increase the cost for that, you're just going to push people back to the other thing. And you're going to keep increasing the cost, then people are just going to make their own.
But it's lucrative.
Yeah, well, I guess California, of all places, needs it.
This is one of the... This is why I get like really like hung up on how much I hate sometimes being a skeptic, because I would end up basically, I have to say that it's like, oh well, why is vaping now a thing before Congress? Because people are greedy and they want the money. And I'm just thinking to myself, God, I sound like a fucking like neckbeard.
Well, thankfully you're not, because you had to shave it off.
Yes, I did. Oh, did you see the pictures?
I saw the pictures, yes.
Oh, okay.
They're glorious. I miss it though.
Yeah.
F for F for Trups's beard, everyone. F for Trups's beard.
What is that squeak?
That was me filling with a bottle. I do apologise.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not against. I should say like, okay, so when people are talking about tackling drug war, legalize drugs, tax the drugs, fine. It's the same thing, but then if you keep increasing the taxes, people are going to turn to another alternative mean, and they're going to keep doing this until you just ban it, and then they go through the black market like everyone else does, or they just make it themselves. You're vaping as we're doing this, aren't you?
That's the problem. That's the problem. The fact that people are sometimes making, for more specifically the pods themselves, is kind of the problem, because if you don't wire that shit right... That's why people get blown up.
Yeah.
Like, there are instances where people have literally blown up pods in their faces because of faulty fucking electrical.
Having seen my brother-in-law...
And what's really funny, I saw this earlier today, that even the UK has been chiming in saying that vaping is better than smoking.
Yeah, no, this is where we absolutely differ on you guys. There are actually, if you Google vaping in US, one of the top articles will be vaping the US and UK see e-cigarettes very differently. And it's a CNN article. It's astonishing. We do see it differently because we think it's brilliant. I don't know whether the science is a bit further along in our country, or whether we just feel this is a better option. We're just happy to settle with it until we see some consequences. It's not like we're exposing people to asbestos here at the moment, okay? People have done that already, okay? We just accept it.
Duck Dog, you're a little. I think the wording that you're using there is a little incorrect. It costs 80 cents for 2 ounces of vape juice. Cigarette companies make tons of money off the pods. If the cigarette companies were the ones making the pods, yes. But they're not. That's why they have issues. Yes, puffs on vape, Squizzy. I feel that. Hardcore.
Tiger Lily's a hardcore hipster, yo. Even though she looks like a little teen goth boy. Not judging. I personally think vaping is fine. As long as you don't blow it in my face, you're fine. Because I really don't care. Because it's just... then I'm not having to put up with people blowing tobacco smoke in my face. You know?
I mean, that's exactly it. Like, first of all, would you rather smell, fucking Black and Milds, or
Sweet Shop,
Cinnabon?
Sweet Shop,
Cinnabon.
Yeah, Sweet Shop, or Bum?
Is tobacco grown in the USA? Some, not all. A lot of it's grown in France.
Yeah.
French dark leaf tobacco is actually really fucking good. Now, I am a bit a mild hypocrite in the tobacco situation because I enjoy hookah.
Nothing
Which
wrong with a
is
hookah?
technically a hookah, yes.
Nothing wrong with that?
Ancient Middle Eastern smoking apparatus. Um,
I have a hookah.
and that takes in a bunch of you know, unwashed sometimes tobacco. But I've chosen that. And I don't smoke it around other people
I
because it's really inconvenient to do that.
I've never smoked. I've used the hookah before, but I don't think it counted as smoking because it was something. It was not. It was like a coffee thing. It was really really nice. I let my brother-in-law use it, and he doesn't put tobacco, and he puts the flavored stuff you can get. Is that
Yeah,
tobacco?
I understand.
Is it tobacco or is it something else?
It's shisha, which is basically it's tobacco and molasses.
Right. Well, that's what he does, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, whatever makes you happy. Just don't blow it in my
Yeah,
face.
exactly. But I will have to whenever you do come visit.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
will definitely get you to sit down and smoke a hookah with me.
Oh damn right, that'd be fun.
I'll make a fucking stream of it. We'll just chat.
Yeah, it'd be
It'll
good
be
fun.
fun.
I'm not getting high with you though.
That's fine. I don't smoke weed officially.
Just on life.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
But do you want to go into what is the okay? So what is this Trump's intro thing?
Okay. Right. So he gave out a medal of a freedom, a medal of freedom, a freedom medal to Mariano Rivera, the New York Yankees Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Medal of
Yeah.
Freedom. Yeah. And right. So the guy was known for nicknamed Sandman. But weirdly, the guy doesn't like Metallica because the music conflicts with his Christian life, and so he doesn't actually listen to heavy metal. So when Trump walked out, in the background you could just hear "Enter Sandman." I thought that was quite funny. I thought that
That's
was.
awesome.
I think so. I'm not a huge fan of that particular song. I think it's kind of overplayed now.
Oh, it's definitely overplayed, but so is Master of Puppets.
Yes, but
Honestly,
I love it.
one has actually become a little bit like that too.
Yeah. I just think
Unforgiven is actually decently played.
Yeah, I just think it was very cool that he came out with this. It's cringe, but at the same time, come on, it's a fun thing as opposed to constantly bitching at Trump for things. I'm surprised someone hasn't told Metallica and then have them say to him, "Oh, you shouldn't use our music. We're gonna
Oh,
copy it."
I like Fade to Black. Fade to Black's great. I also like For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Not bad songs.
Um,
Can't really knock
a
that.
good one.
Yeah, can't knock it. It was just a fun thing I wanted
No,
to
Duck
mention.
Dog, no.
What did Dog say?
You two could go dogging together. That's a
Uh,
thing much more in Europe than it is in America, by the way.
I'm going to politely decline on the grounds that I'm happy with what I have,
Yeah, same.
and I don't need to go on a car to do that.
Yeah. Also, I don't understand why that's such a thing in Europe, and it's like, I guess maybe we're farther
I
away.
think it only gets I heard memes of destruction and wonderingly say it only gets really really creepy when the dogging isn't actually two people fucking, it's one person fucking the car.
Oh.
That's a thing.
Oh, okay.
And
I could have gone my entire life without knowing that.
there was a TV show on it. Yes, and it was creepy. Somewhere American. So I've just checked quickly. I've just quickly perused the Twitter of Metallica, and there is no mention of it. So one can assume they don't care enough to question it or get annoyed about it, which is good. I just think it is a fun little thing to have on here. There was some stuff about where was it? About Corey Lewandowski being threatened with contempt after he mocked and stonewalls at a House impeachment hearing. Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, there was a video of it with Nadler, where basically Republican Doug Collins was trying to, during the hearing, House Judiciary Committee, the Democrats refused to allow him to question the witness after having already allowed a private paid consultant, a $70,000 donor to the Democrats, to grill the man for 30 minutes straight. Nadler was just... He was controlling everything, but not allowing anyone who was Republican to actually question anything. And I just sat back again after seeing this and was like, this is just so fucking childish. You can't...
I mean, it's really sad, actually, because it's... I don't want to say it's like middle school or high school, but it kind of feels that way. It's like, you know, you can't sit with us, you can't talk with us, you know,
Yeah.
we're too cool for you,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I mean, it's for different reasons, but it kind of has that like feel to it.
It's very, very childish.
But like, honestly, I wouldn't even say that, like, because your parliament also has like it. I would say like parliament is like college, and then our House committee meetings is like high school or middle school. And the reason I say that is because no one knows how to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I
In
noticed.
Parliament.
Yeah, they don't.
In Parliament.
It's
And
embarrassing.
in the House, everyone still understands the rules that the teacher said no talking when other people are talking, but they'll just be dicks at each other.
Yeah. That's kind of... Yeah. At least, I guess, there's always a group leader, at least in college, so at least the speaker shuts them up in the UK. I don't know how it works in your system. To me, your system just looks like people make speeches, and whoever has the most of their own supporters in the room generally just wins everything regardless. There's no real discourse past making your statements, and you not actually mattering in the slightest, if you're a dissenting opinion. Which I find quite embarrassing. Because I find...
Yeah, it really is like that. Like, look at him. Look at fucking. He's talking right now, and Nadler looks like he wants to fucking just like off himself. He wants to be anywhere but where he is.
Yes, and I think people, and as a UK, and this is one of those times where I do find that the British system, even though the current Supreme Court thing is childish beyond belief, I do think that our system's a little more... let's say there's a little more give in it. Because from what I've been watching on your C-SPAN, I watch it quite a bit at the moment, and all I see is it doesn't matter if you agree with someone, but you're... it doesn't matter if you agree with them. If they're not of the same party, you don't vote with them. It becomes a party thing as opposed to an actual honest thing. And
Hey, for a second, roll back that clip of Nadler talk. Well, he's still talking right now. Does he look like he's had a stroke?
let's just... I'll press play and I'll keep it muted. Oh yeah, his face is it's opening... It's twisting, isn't it?
His whole left side is drooping.
She hasn't got bell palsy or something?
I don't know. Like, I'm actually concerned. Like, I'm looking at that. I'm like, has no one... Wait. Has this man had a stroke? Has anyone seen medical attention? Hello? Sorry.
No, it's all good.
My first responder brain started triggering.
Enough said. I
Oh,
just
man.
I just sat back, I watched this, and I'm like, how are you still here, Nadler? Every time I've seen, and I don't want to mean all Democrats. I don't mean all Democrats, but whenever I watch these and Democrats control the room, they all just vote together, even when they're in the wrong. And in this case, it was somebody wanting to question a witness, which they are well within their right to do, being denied the right to do so because this prick doesn't want him to question him about whatever it is that goes against what he believes. Which I think is a dishonest thing for anyone to be sat on the chair and not allow. That is an absolute insult to democracy. In fact, what he is doing is anti-democratic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I found this to be quite interesting and quite tragic for your democracy. Mine's already in the can. I thought I'd just use can because it seemed appropriate for you. When yours isn't far behind.
Right, and I would love to get into it a little bit more, but I do want to hit on this Trudeau thing.
Oh, yes.
I have to run.
Yes, so, Trudeau. Let's pull that up. Hang on. Where is it? Here it is. Boom! What do you know about this?
I know that Mr. Trudeau apparently likes a trip to, what is this? Arabian Nights Gala?
It is. Right, so let's go back a little first. 2015, Trudeau destroys Stephen Harper by landslide. By the way, Harper had a somewhat stable existence, many agree, but many also agree he was stagnant. That was why they wanted to get rid of him for change. This man is the face of diversity. This man is a global standard bearer for inclusion. He admits over 20,000 refugees, even goes to meet the very first ones, puts Viola Desmond, a black woman who spurred the end of segregation in Nova Scotia, on the $10 bill. He has done everything he can to be as inclusive and as anti-racist as possible. Going so far as to culturally appropriate in countries he's not really that familiar with and pose for very cringy photos with his family in local garb. Problem is,
it doesn't even look like... It looks like he got a Bollywood outfit.
It looks like he just grabbed the first turban he could find and just thought, boot polish.
Oh yeah, that's another one. We are here, Deo. He fucking... Then, okay, so he was interviewed on the plane afterwards. He goes, have you ever done anything else like this in the past?
And he can't remember.
I sang Deo in fucking high school in makeup.
When he was also questioned on how many times he wore blackface, he even said he can't remember. He doesn't... Look at that. It's brilliant. I should say, I personally don't consider this... Trump's being the only actual, based on his avatar, black guy here. Do you consider this racist?
Sorry. Oh my god. I do, because... Okay, so if you were going to darken your skin to an Arabic tone, there's a way to do that. And you don't have to look like... What's the Gollywog doll that you guys had?
It's called a Gollywog doll.
Yeah. Because he looks like a caricature. It doesn't even look like he's quote-unquote brown. He looks black.
In 2001.
Oh. So the fact that he's not even like he didn't try, man. He just had that shit still from high school when he did the Deo, and he was like, I could use it again. It's fine.
I'm going to link in the chat an article which has a video of him apologizing if you scroll down a little bit. It is really funny that he's apologizing for this. I don't consider it racist because I think I know what the context was. He just took it way too far. The thing is, how did no one know about this until now, and why did no one use it on him in 2015 when they had a chance?
Also, isn't this picture from a high school?
It's from 2001.
When he was teaching at high school, right?
I believe so. It was at a gala
is he
dinner.
Getting handsy with a teenager?
Let's have a look. Arabian theme party where he taught. His hands are on the chest of somebody. Yes. But I don't know. I don't know.
Handsy. I'm not going to say no sexual assault or anything.
I'll be honest. If he really committed to that, I'd be worried about the handprint he left when he took it off.
Maybe that was his intention. Because I doubt he used setting powder.
I love that picture so much. I had to make it the thumbnail picture. It's like an instant demonetization, but totally worth it.
Oh, Squizzy, you graduated in high school in 2001?
I actually finished secondary school.
We're not going to talk about how fucking young I am compared to you then.
I finished in secondary school, so age 16, in 2002, which is our version of high school. Well, we have high school here as well, but I prefer secondary. It's just the correct word for it. People said this isn't blackface, it's brownface.
No, bullshit. It's too dark to be brown.
Yeah. He is the... Oh, yeah, right. So, he was wearing... Hang on. He only did the face, neck, and hands. And it was a private day school where he was just a teacher. Okay. It's not... How did it take so long to get these pictures, considering how... Nah.
Because he had so many things going wrong for him. Okay, so there was this whole thing with Indonesia apparently getting shipped Canada's trash because of a certain agreement. And then when they sent it, Indonesia said, we didn't sign anything. What the fuck is this? And Trudeau tried to, get them to fucking take it.
That's amazing. I love this.
And instead, they was like, no, take it back. And they literally sent it back up. They had an agreement at one point, but they never paid Indonesia. So Indonesia was like, fuck you.
Sorry, I just want to put a comment in the chat. There you go. I didn't know about that. I would say that from what I've heard of, from brief looking at his policies and what's going on, this one's going to sting his re-election campaign, which is ongoing until next year. I'm not sure he'll get a second term anyway, but if he does, this one's going to be the part that really hurts him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Ah,
Somebody, Semper Bear makes a good point though. We're just going to ignore all the flaming racists who are excited to be in the picture, but it's a multicultural racism.
yeah, look at that. There's one token Asian lady.
Yeah, there's a token Asian. Actually, the one who is dark haired actually looks more like Eastern European than traditional white. She looks more like Bosnian.
And as a true sign of diversity, not a single straight white man in that picture.
You're quite right. No straight white man would be caught dead wearing a turban like that.
It's not fabulous enough, man. It's just not fabulous enough.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty good though. But the fact that this is one of 3 fucking pictures that was found.
Oh yeah, okay. So hang on, I'll pull up another one, because I hadn't done that. Give me a sec. Trudeau properties. Let's change it for this one. Yeah, this works. There you go. It'll be on the screen in a second for people. This is when he was singing Deo in the high school talent show.
All right, actually, you know what? He looks like a young Jimi Hendrix.
He does a bit, to be honest. There is another picture, but it's far too small, so I can't use it. But he's in that picture, obviously showing how he was a member of the faculty, but it wasn't a picture of anything else. It's just too small for me to show. But yeah, Trudeau. Inclusive. Look at that.
I don't know. He actually, okay, that picture is either taken really well.
It's not a bad picture.
Or, like, it's actually pretty quality.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I just think the whole instance funny.
I wouldn't know that's Trudeau off the top of my head.
I just like that he started the re-election bid and he's already handicapped. Because there's no amount of times he can apologise to truly make up for what he's done.
Oh, come on. I mean, the guy, at this point, he can do no wrong. Like, he's gotten in trouble doing so much shit.
True. The only way
now? Come on.
I think the way if he does win, the only way he does win is if he assassinates his opponent. In the sense of the typical, but I may have done this and I apologise for it, but they did that and that's much worse.
Oh, political assassination.
Yeah, that kind. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Who's his opponent?
If they definitely run against him as a left, I don't know if they have Democrats up there. What do they call them?
Paul Joseph Watson will pay $20,000 for the video of him singing Deo in a Jamaican voice.
I love that.
I honestly, if that exists, oh boy.
God, it's probably on a fucking film reel.
And it'll get, if it ever gets uploaded to YouTube, that thing's getting mirrored by everyone.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Okay. Well, this has been good
yeah,
fun.
he bullshitted too. Yeah, it was his layers of privilege that made him do it. Oh my God.
Yes, actually that was in the BBC article about it. He was giving another statement, and he said he came from a place of privilege, and this is what gave him sort of that desire to use his privilege to do this nonsense. Like, no, shut up.
Yeah, I honestly, in my opinion, the fact that we have to argue about this kind of stuff from a place of privilege kind of just disappoints me, because by a politician saying that, oh, it was my privilege that allowed me to do it, you give reasonable justification to that movement, that idea. You're giving them ammo to say, look, he acknowledges his privilege made him do this. Why can't everybody else? Because you can be young and stupid, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And the fact that this is a thing, and I mean, it went for so long and no one commented about it, so apparently somebody didn't have a problem with it up until 2019.
Well, yeah, it's. I'll be honest. Any politician running for office is going to get attacked on something. I find it very suspicious that this wasn't noticed before, and yeah, he was basic at the time. He was the prince who could do no wrong kind of thing. Oh, he looks so handsome and blah 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 blah. But
I
actually,
trust those people less.
but he's such a massive twat, and he's been
Well, he's like
proven to be.
Macron.
Yeah,
He's just like Macron.
I'll be honest. I think though Trudeau has a higher approval rating than Macron. I think everyone has a higher approval rating than Macron. Macron's fucked.
Fucking Kim Jong Un has a better fucking approval.
I think Trump does.
Oh, Trump actually has a very considerable approval rating, which is weird.
Yeah.
I know 45 is still timed out, but he'll should be coming back soon.
Oh, someone got timed out.
I timed him out for spamming. I warned him 3 times.
I didn't even notice. Sorry, 45.
Right.
I miss you already, baby. Anyway, I think we're done here, and you've got to go back to work. So, is there anything you would like to shill, or
my life sucks? I have a Streamlabs down below.
go subscribe to Traps and give him your money. Okay. I'll have a new video on this channel tomorrow, eventually, and then I'm going to go celebrate my nephew's birthday. So I'll see you all later. Thank you for joining. Say goodnight, Traps.
Good night, Traps.
Night, Traps.